Hi guys, and welcome to episode 71 of the Crochet Cakes podcast. My name is Claire and I am your host for each and every episode that you will find on this channel starting on the year 2018. My God, that feels like ages ago, and I can't even begin to tell you. It's November, so that's, I feel the year went by really fast. After May, I think it just zoomed by. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning into this crafty channel. It's a, crafty sort of podcast where I usually talk about any crafty thing that catches my fancy, but lately it's just been crochet, knitting, and not a lot of it, I have to tell you guys. Although I also did a little bit of sewing, and silly me, I didn't take a picture of that. And I should have, because it's already packaged and I'm ready to ship it out tomorrow, which will be Monday, to the winner of the Mischief Managed Mal, because it's been 2 weeks since the Mischief Managed Mal ended and I announced the winner. Again, thank you so much who participated, and all those of you who encouraged other people to participate in the channel as well. It was just a lot of fun, I think. I had fun. I have fun in cows, that's all I can say. But before I do move on with any other content for this channel, let me say that you can find me as Crochet Cakes anywhere on the internet. You can also visit my website or blog at crochetcakes.com. And you may also find me on Instagram, Ravelry, Pinterest, and here on YouTube as Crochet Cakes. I'm also on Elo, but I don't really use Elo that much, to be honest. But all the links will be down below. All the links to where you can find me and what I'm talking about. All of that will be in the down bar below. So once again, officially welcome to this episode 71, recorded in the middle of November right now. And for those of you who don't know, I live in Florida, and you may be wondering, why am I just all covered in woolly goodness and crochet and all that? And it's because it's 50 degrees in Florida, finally. This morning when I got up to walk the dog, it said 50 degrees, feels like 46. Hells yes. Oh my God, I cannot tell you how excited I am that I can finally take out all the woolly goodness and wear it. And not just for the podcast, I can wear it out in public, and I will not be trying really hard not to sweat because it'll get hot. But anyway, it's glorious, guys, and I am wearing a fair bit of woolly things. Why don't we start with the head, then move on to the neck, and then finish with the toes. Yes? Heads, shoulders, knees, and toes. Okay, so I am wearing a beret that I have no idea where I found it, where I made it from, or any of that, so I guess it's not useful. I can tell you it's a beret made with half double crochets, and there is front post, back post ribbing, and I absolutely love this beret. I really don't remember what website I found it. This was made before I ever started thinking about podcasting or had officially joined the crafting community. So the only thing I really remember from this is that I made it in Lionbrand Heartland, and I don't even remember the colorway, so there's that for all of you. But it is a green. It's got tones of green. If you've ever used Lionbrand Heartland, you may recall that it's kind of a tonal yarn. It's not a solid color. It's got a bit of a heathered look to it. That's what I meant. It's got a bit of a heathered look to it, and I really like it. And there's greens and olive greens and darker greens, and this beret pattern is a favorite of mine, and I have to make more of it because whenever it's getting cold outside, this is the hat I just always dig out and wear. And I am pairing it today with my version of Sandra's from Cherry Heart Muscari shawl. The reason I say my version is because this has never even been blocked. I ran out of yarn as I was crocheting it, and I couldn't finish the border. I think I was missing 2 rows to finish the border. It's kind of a type of scalloped edged border to give the shawl a shallow crescent shaped, but I didn't have enough yarn, and it is a 1 hank project. She does tell you to try and use a hank of yarn that has more than 465 yards. And I did. This yarn that I used is from Forbidden Fiber Co. She used to be called Forbidden Fiber Woolery, and this is the Outlander colorway, and it's a merino, some stellina for the speckling that you can kind of see now, and a nylon blend. And it's really soft and lovely. I really loved this color, and I loved the name of it and loved the colorway. It's got like a lot of dark army greens, browns, some burnt yellows, and even some light grays and grayish blues. It's just a beautiful, beautiful yarn. And my husband really wanted me to make him something in this colorway, but since it had stellina, he said that if I could find it without stellina, he would wear it. So who knows, maybe I will be checking out Forbidden Fiber Co. I keep wanting to say Forbidden Fiber Woolery, but as I said, that was the name of her business before she moved, and she rebranded to Forbidden Fiber Co. I do love her colorways. If you've never heard of her, I'm gonna include a link down below. Check out her colorways. She has gorgeous steampunk colorways, gorgeous Harry Potter colorways, gorgeous Outlander colorways. I just think she's a genius, and one of my favorite blends that she works with is the cotton linen blend. I also think it's really fun to work with. It's a sport weight of yarn, and I just like it because it's cotton and linen. I can wear it more often in Florida than I do the woolly goods. But yes, if you've never heard either of Sandra's Muscari shawl pattern, I highly encourage you to make it. I remember I had a lot of fun when I was making this pattern, and it uses 1 hank of yarn. How many shawls do you know that just use 1 hank of yarn? And it's perfect for 50-degree weather where you don't want to be buried under mounds of wool or acrylic or just fabric in general. Now, as for my toes, we're going to do a weird angle here where I'm going to lift my foot up and show it to the camera. Now, forgive me if I keep looking towards my left. It's because I usually have the camera on this side, but right now it's on this side. So I find it weird and I keep looking that way. But anyway, okay, here we go. This is the first, I guess they're the second pair of socks that I ever knit for myself. And they are West Yorkshire Spinners in the Goldfinch colorway. And I did not really do, it's getting really awkward holding my foot in front of the camera, I know. But I didn't really follow a specific pattern. I just did a 2x2 rib, 64 stitches, because I used to have a really, really tight gauge. And then I did a fish lips kiss heel. Now, this was my first venture into using the fish lips kiss heel, and it was a tiny bit of a disaster. Not on this sock. I'm gonna lift my right foot now, and you can see what disaster I'm talking about. Hopefully. It depends how much yoga. There we go. So it's kind of blowing out the camera a little bit, but you can see where I've patched it up. And that's because I had a really tight gauge, so it ripped when I wore it for the first time ever. The first time I ever wore these socks was at the Edinburgh Yarn Festival of 2017, and they broke. I almost cried. I have to be really honest, I almost cried. But what I did to fix it, if you're ever interested, I literally crocheted just a tiny square that was gonna, or maybe I knit it, let me look. Oh no, sorry guys, I knit. So I just picked up the stitches from where they had dropped. And what I did was I picked up the stitches at the bottom and then I knit a flap, but I didn't really understand how to connect it. So after I knit the flap, I just left a really long tail and then used single crochets all the way like on the sides to join it. And it worked out really well, and I don't really feel it right now because it's kind of felted together. As this is a non-superwash. If you're familiar with West Yorkshire spinners, you'll know it's a non-superwash yarn. And the Goldfinch colorway always kind of reminds me of Christmas because there's whites with grays and blues, yellows, and I really like it. I think I have 48 grams left over, so if I do contrasting toes, I'll definitely have enough to make another pair of socks with this yarn, which is exciting because I do love it. And actually, even though these socks broke the first time I used them, they're still my favorite pair of socks. I love the feel of them. I love the fit of them. They're just long enough and just wide enough. And I love socks, guys. I love knit socks, but it takes me too long to knit them for myself, so I usually put other people first on the knitting sock list, and it's never fast enough. I have to be honest, it's never fast enough. But speaking of putting other people first on my makes list, I do have some works in progress to share with you. And believe it or not, I have 4 works in progress to share with you this week. 3 are a gift and 1 is for me, and the one that's for me, it's been on the needles for ages, and I'm just doing basically a row a day just to keep on top of it. So the first project I'm going to share with you, I shared it with you in the last podcast, and that's just my basic gentleman's sweater, and it's a sweater that I'm designing for my husband Edison. He asked for a black sweater. Who am I to say no, right? At least that's what I thought when I first started crocheting it. Now I'm just like, why did I ever agree to crochet a black sweater? But this is what I have up till now. So it's basically a raglan sweater, and you can't really see it too well because it's black. But I promise you, it's a raglan sweater worked in the round using extended single crochet stitches, which if you followed my crafting career, I guess in summer, it's just my favorite stitch right now. It's the extended single crochet stitch. So I'm basically almost finished with my second ball of yarn, and I'm still not done with the chest area. I've got this much left, and I'm getting a little concerned that I may not have enough yarn to actually complete this sweater, so I really should pick it up and work on it more often. For yarn, I am using Lionbrand jeans yarn. God, everything's getting really blown out, I apologize. But this is Lionbrand jeans yarn in the stovepipe colorway. This is 100% acrylic yarn, 246 yards, 100 grams, and it recommends a 5.5 millimeter hook. I am using a 5 millimeter hook because once I wash it, it's gonna stretch a considerable amount, and I'm tending to work on a looser gauge whenever I'm working with bigger yarns and a bigger hook. So I just thought, to be on the safe side, used a smaller hook, and then when you wash it, it'll be nice and stretched out. So the stovepipe colorway is just kind of like a black and gray colorway. It's not a solid, it's not a tonal. I think maybe I would call it heathered, but I don't know the exact term for it, honestly. And I don't know what else I can tell you about this. I am planning on writing my notes up. There's no, sorry, that was the hook. I'm using a tulip hook, in case you're wondering. So when I first started crocheting this, and by the way, this is a Molly Klein bag. It was a Christmas gift that Mom gave me years ago, and this is Harry Potter. But what I wanted to say is that when I first started designing the sweater, I wrote down what I was doing. And somewhere along the line, I forgot to write down what I was doing, so I kind of just played it by ear. I measured one of Edison's sweaters that he really uses a lot, and I kept measuring my sweater against it, and that's it's kind of really how I rolled with it. So I guess when I do write the pattern, I will write more of a recipe than an actual pattern, but I will definitely share with you what I did, how many balls of yarn I used, how long, you know, how long I made it. So the measurements for it, I will definitely share those. All right, and the next project I'm making is also a garment, not for me, but it's living in my favorite bag ever. And this was a Halloween gift that Mom gave me. It's the Ghastly fabric. I love the Ghastlies. Seriously, this is Alexander Henry's best creation is the Ghastlies. I buy the Ghastlies sewing, the Ghastlies Halloween, Ghastlies Christmas. I love them all. And seriously, mustard dresses. How could you go wrong? But what I have in here is another sort of design. Now for this one, I am writing down everything I am doing, and it is hopefully going to be a top-down sweater that I am working up completely in the round as well. And I'm using Knit One Crochet Two Daisy base, and it's approximately 100 grams, 272 yards. The color, this color is silver, and it is 38% linen, 32% silk, and 30% hemp. So I thought it was a lovely, lovely blend for Puerto Rico because I am crocheting this for my mom. And I say it kind of fearfully because I honestly am still afraid that I'm really, you know, December is 2 weeks away, and I've only done the yoke for both of these garments. So I foresee a lot of pain in my future. And the reason I say pain is because I haven't been working a lot on any of the crochet projects because the pain in my shoulders has gotten really, really, really bad. And I can only crochet for like 30 minutes a day, if that. So what I'm trying to do is work up a row on each project and then call it a day for my crocheting and knitting. So it's a row a day. Yes, it's doing something, but it's not enough to get it done in the time frame I gave myself. But if I don't get it done, then they'll just get an IOU of what you should have gotten. But back to this sweater. Like I said, I am crocheting top down in the round, and the goal for it is to use the technique that I used in the bark sweater, which is that instead of joining two sides for the sleeves, you kind of chain, and that chain will leave a hole, and that will be kind of where you're going to join for the sleeve and to continue working in the round. So that's where I'm working up with this guy. And then the third crochet project is a cowl that, not a cowl, kind of an exchange that I joined. So Caroline of Mind and Muse Crafts, she is had advertised a while ago a doily exchange, and the idea behind it is to crochet a doily for somebody else. If you're interested in any more of the rules or the happenings of it, go check out Mind and Muse Crafts Ravelry group. I believe the exchange is now closed, but maybe, I don't know, maybe if 2 more people sign up, she'll just pair you guys together. Because I believe there are 5 people participating, and we all got paired off. So I fell down a doily rabbit hole and a crochet thread rabbit hole, which is gonna lead me on to some acquisitions. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that crochet thread rabbit hole later. But the doily rabbit hole, I finally settled on making a Mandala Doily. And this is a free pattern that you can find on Red Heart, although I believe Red Heart got bought out by Yarnspirations, so you go to Yarnspirations. But anyway, if you search for Mandala Doily by Christina Mershon, you will find this Mandala Doily. Now, she makes it in kind of autumnal colors, and each row is a different color, I believe, but she does repeat the colors inside the row. The reason I didn't do that was because I didn't find any colors that I liked. I went to Michael's, I went to Joann's, I went to Walmart, which are the only one I didn't go to was Hobby Lobby. But anyway, those were the closest stores I had next to me, and I did not like the selection of crochet threads that they had. So I finally settled for this teal color that you can see if you're watching. If you're listening, it's teal. It's crochet thread teal and Lydias number 3, because I was a bit afraid of the number 10s. I have used them, but it's been a long time since I've crocheted with a number 10 thread. Anyway, I'm using Aunt Lydia's 3 in this teal color, and I'm using a 2.25 millimeter Clover Amour crochet hook. Love the Clover Amour crochet hooks. And I'm only using the teal color, as I said, and I believe I'm 8 rows in. And it's fun. I started this yesterday. Yesterday was Saturday. That's when I started it. And I'm already 9 rows in. So I kind of broke my 1 row a day on each project rule because I was excited. She uses so many different stitches. I believe there's only 2 rows that have the same stitch. So as of right now, I mean. So she uses so many different stitches that they're just so fun. It's so fun to work up. And I really wanted to get at least 1 doily finished because they're supposed to be sent out already by the 1st of December. Which kind of brings me to the reason that I'm making it in a solid color. As I said, I didn't find any colors here next to me that I liked the looks of. So I just started looking online, and I didn't find any Lydia's colors that I liked, at least in the websites that were popping up for me. So I don't know why or how I decided to visit the Knit Picks website, but I did. Guys, they have crochet thread now. I didn't even know that was a thing for Knit Picks, but they do. They have gorgeous, gorgeous colors of crochet thread. So I bought some. I don't know if they'll get here in time, so that's why I'm working up this doily in just a teal color. I was really hoping they would make it here in time because then I could give 2 doilies to my exchange partner. That's my doily rabbit hole. End of, I guess I climbed out of that one. And I'm just gonna show you my final work in progress, and that's actually knitting, and it's for me. So what I am working on is a project that you've seen, you've seen me trudging on with, but I'm gonna show you a picture because it's this. It is the fall scarf by my friend Emma, who is Potter and Bloom. I'm slowly working through it. It's a knit scarf, and mine looks appropriately huge, I guess, because if you kind of see in the picture, it's folded in half, and she's just wearing it draped. And I'm just gonna show you what mine looks like so you can see how appropriately huge it is. Now, last time I believe I showed you my first finished object from the Hanging Rock Designs Volume 1, which is where you can find the fall scarf and the open socks, and also a crochet shawl, which is the balance shawl. And I actually found yarn in my stash to make the balance shawl, so I'm happy that I will have been working my way through this ebook because Emma produces such gorgeous, gorgeous ebooks. And I also believe she's got a new pattern out, and it's the 6 Wives shawl, and if you're interested. But anyway, inside this beautiful, beautiful Paris bag, I have my version of the fall scarf. And like I said, I've only been working a row of it a day, so you might not see a huge ton of progress, but oh boy, let me bring that up. Okay, there we go. This is how, I'm gonna stop talking because I'm gonna show the width of this and I'm gonna put it over my face, okay? Do you see how huge that is, guys? It's just huge. So there's 100 stitches, if I'm not mistaken, on these needles. And these are just some Takumi Clover 8mm, I'm sorry, US 8 5mm knitting needles. And these are bitten by my dog. So, yay! But anyway, the pattern is designed for acrylic yarn just for the ease of washing. You know, if you have such a big scarf that you're all bundled up in, you kind of want to throw it in the wash to get the makeup off and all those things. So I am using the colorway Bone, and this is, I keep wanting to say Clover because it's Carron Simply Soft in the Bone color, and the green spots that you'll see are Chartreuse. Now I did already use up 1.5 balls of the Bone colorway, and I have 1 ball left of the ones I had originally purchased and had in my stash, and I went and bought 2 more because the pattern calls for 4 balls of Stylecraft DK in the Parchment colorway. So I think I have more than enough yarn. The reason I bought more than the pattern indicates is because I think I'm crocheting at a looser, knitting at a looser gauge. I can't tell you for sure because did I do a gauge swatch? No, I did not. But I'm also using wooden needles, and I don't think my gauge loosens up so much in wooden needles as it does with metal needles. But those are the projects I've been working on. Other than just knitting, crocheting, I've just been doing general house stuff, you know, cooking, cleaning, playing with my dog, and watching anime every so often. I've been watching just Food Wars, I believe. Yeah, I think Food Wars is the only anime I've really been watching. Edison wants to sit down and watch Boku no Hero again, which is My Hero Academia. He wants to sit down and watch that again. I don't know. I'm not sure I like any characters in that anime. I used to. I don't know what happened. Somewhere along the way, I was like, you know what? Each one of you just needs a little reality check, because just because you have a crush on someone when you're 16 doesn't mean that you're gonna just last forever if there's no encouragement. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm just reading too much into it. It's anime, right? I've also been doing a little bit of Christmas shopping. I literally just bought my coworker, she's having a baby on the 31st of December, so I got her some little baby essentials. So the baby first aid kit, I think that's what it's called. I got her that, but I also got her some necessary items for when she's breastfeeding. And I've accumulated some little bits and bobs here for my mom. I still have to decide what to give my brother and my sister for Christmas. I don't know. And I still have to buy a Christmas gift for Edison because I want him to have 2 Christmas gifts. And even though, you know, I really need to get on top of it because I showed you this yarn I bought last week, and this is a lace weight nylon blend from Crafting New Treats, my friend Catherine. And it's 80% Corriedale Polworth wool, 20% nylon. And I was gonna crochet some socks for Edison with this. And as you can see, it's still in the hank. It is not caked up. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in myself. But yeah, guys, other than Christmas shopping, Christmas making, and working, I haven't really been doing much. Honestly, when you work an 8 to 5 job, it's kind of annoying. It literally cuts into your whole day, and then when you get home at 6, it's already dark, it looks like 8:30, and you don't have much energy left, do you? I've been trying to have more energy left because I don't want to live my life hating my job, getting out of work, arriving home, and just going to sleep. I don't think it's healthy. I want more out of my life, and I know I'm not the only one out there who thinks so. So I guess I just have to breathe deep and pull energy from inside, you know? I can't let work rule my mental capacity. I mean, you can, and that's what's been happening, but I don't want that to be a thing. I don't. So I guess a goal for this new moon, which the new moon was this past week. So my goal for this new moon month is to put stock into the important things in life and not just work or money or debt, I guess. Just breathe deep and learn to love life again, you know? But anyway, guys, I'm sorry to end it on such a depressing note, but it's a reality. It's not all sunshines and rainbows for me either, guys. I'm a real human being with real problems. And I guess crocheting is my therapy. But before I leave you guys, I just want to tell you once more, thank you. Thank you for following me on Instagram. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for watching my podcast, and thank you for visiting my blog. All of it just makes my day. And I love interacting with you through other means that is not just me talking to a camera and having my dog look at me like, hello, please get up and play with me. All right, well, this is where I'm gonna leave you guys for this week, and I hope you have a happy crafting week. Bye.